Hi, I'm Peter Richmond and I'm from Plug and Play. And for the last 18 years, we've been helping improve clients' market penetrations, increase their engagement levels on their websites, and convert more visitors to their websites into inquiries and ultimately new customers. And today, I'm going to be talking about classical marketing principles and how these can be used to help you attract and convert the right clients and candidates. Now, for me, I think this is really similar to actually trying to find the right people. So from a recruitment perspective, you've probably been in a situation where you're trying to find the right candidate for your client, and different CVs might be crossing your desk and they're just not the right people, skills or background or that kind of fit that you're looking for within the business. And then the right CV comes along and almost instantly that actually they're going to be good because the CV reads really well, they've got the right skills, they've got the right background, so you give them a call, they're really good on the phone, and actually you can see how they'd be a really good cultural fit, so you get them into an interview. And that excitement, that feeling that you're getting from that alignment of, they've got the right skills and the right background and the right fit for the right role, that alignment creates this resonance. It creates this feeling within us. That means you want, this. You can tell that this candidate is the right candidate for the right client, and that's what we're trying to get from our marketing. What we want from our marketing is our clients, on a Thursday evening at 10 o'clock at night, when you're not there to present the business in person, your website, your marketing, your LinkedIn posts, all of your brand and everything else needs to create that resonance within your clients and make them want to choose you. So really, when we're thinking about classical marketing principles, what we're really talking about is resonance. So creating that resonance is super important, and resonance creates that feeling of that target audience want to choose you. And so when we're thinking about how do we create resonance, how are we going to make that happen, what we're really looking at is going into your target audience and understanding that target audience at a deeper level. We're going to be thinking about how we're going to position ourselves to reflect that target audience and what key messages we can deliver to help create that resonance in written form. Outside of written form, we need to think about the brand. We need to think about how the look and feel of your brand is going to make people feel a certain thing without them having to be specifically told, and how those can all be brought together in your tactile marketing, whether it's your website, your outbound, your LinkedIn, any of your social posts, anything that you're doing offline. How do we help make marketing happen? Because at the end of the day, getting stuff out the door is so much harder than actually than anything else, because when you've come up with an idea and it's like, yeah, we can do this in marketing, there's like, oh, we need to do the design and how's it going to come together and how are we going to say. Getting this homework done in terms of positioning, messaging and brand is going to help you get that marketing done. So looking into that target audience then, target audience is really split into two key things. We're looking at the business and we're looking at the person. And coming back to that analogy that I was using about trying to hire and find the right person, what we're really looking at is those attributes, the attributes of the business and the attributes of the target audience in terms of the people that work there, to look at how are we going to create that resonance, because we want those people to see themselves within your marketing, both in terms of written messaging and in terms of brand. And so creating that reflection starts off by understanding the attributes of your target audience. And these attributes could be size or needs or budget or number of hires or seniority of hires or the types of hires. Are they vertical by sector or subsector? Are they vertical by different skill sets which are actually cross-sector? There could be anything that could be the attributes of either the business or the person. And what we need to do is think about how we can lean into the right attributes to help create a market position where we can excel, and that we can own a niche where we can generate more new leads by reflecting the needs of those customers and for them to feel resonance within our marketing. So for example, here we've just got a simple battle card of the business with the size, state, their budgets, what their goals are and so on. But actually thinking about those different attributes, it could be very specific. It could be about sector and subsector and size, and maybe they're hiring graduates or senior managers. It could be any of these things. The way that they hire, maybe they are fully contingent, maybe they want an RPO agency. There could be any number of things that they want to bake into this. But what I'd love you to do is to download the templates from our website, where there'll be links underneath this video. And the same goes for the person, understanding the persona, the personality types. Some businesses in recruitment do really well because people buy from people, and classically, I guess within recruitment, people definitely buy people from people. So it's one of those things where actually understanding how you're going to reflect those individuals within your marketing is really important, because we often find, especially with recruiters, that they do really well in terms of their face-to-face engagements, when they actually have a client that they kind of have a vibe with. They can do really well out of that. So how can we create that vibe in your marketing? That's really about understanding those individuals and how are we going to market to them. So again, looking at what's the determining factor about these people that actually means that you get on really well with them and that you're actually able to market to them really effectively offline and in person, and how can we recreate that online? So why do they choose you? There's loads of things to consider here. There's going to be some that you're in control of. There could be others that are just facets of the business. So for example, where it was started, where it's located. There's going to be attributes considered to reputation, sector, subsector, people you've hired before, your track record, your client roster. And those two things are going to enable you to attract candidates as well as clients. So of course, if you've got a good track record of hiring for particular businesses, you're likely to get more and better candidates. And equally, more and better candidates means that you're going to get a reputation for delivering for those clients. And so it's that bringing together of that marketplace. But think about why these clients and candidates are choosing you. Because using those attributes of yourself and then augmenting attributes of your client's target audience, so those business and personas, how can we start bringing these two things together? And I think this is where we can start defining a marketplace. So this is kind of a classic positioning marketplace chart, and within this quadrant, what you can see here, and I've used price and quality because everyone really understands that, and it could be cars, but it could be supermarkets or whatever, and effectively you've got this positive correlation between price and quality. Now, the market dynamic really works for those two attributes, but what you might find useful to do as a bit of homework is to draw out a number of different quadrants. You might have different sectors. Maybe you have a quadrant where it's the seniority of the job role or the number of hires. Perhaps it's within the specialism of pharma, the number of seniority of hires. It could be anything that works for your business, where you can take a number of different attributes and plot yourself against your competitors. Because then you're actually able to start thinking about, okay, well, actually, we're really decent within this space, within those parameters, within those attributes, and you can start carving out a niche. And what's really interesting is that once you understand how you've carved that niche out, you're able to articulate it much more effectively. So we're going to take this niche and we're going to take our understanding of this niche and think about these attributes and how we're going to play them back to our customers. Because reflecting your audience within your marketing is what's going to create that resonance. So creating that resonance and reflecting back to our audience can be done in a number of different ways within our messaging. And so, for example, within perhaps an elevator pitch, using our proprietary network of senior leadership capabilities developed over the last 20 years, we're uniquely placed to deliver the best possible candidates to pharma companies globally. This actually has a number of different attributes to it. We know there's pharma companies, they're global. We know that it's senior leadership within pharma companies that are global. So there's three attributes there that actually are a reflection of a target audience. So how can we get three or more attributes within our messaging? Because when that customer or that prospective client reads that content, they're going to see themselves in that content and they're going to get that resonance. They're going to go, wow, they specifically work with people just like me. What's interesting about something like this as an elevator pitch, and it's kind of a longer topic than can be covered today, is things like how do you stand out in terms of an elevator pitch? How do you continue that conversation going? So our proprietary network of senior leadership capabilities developed over 20 years kind of is a real keystone of an offering. How do you actually deliver what you deliver? What does that mean? What does that mean in terms of me finding the right people? So think about how you do what you do. Think about how you can differentiate what and how you do it. And then how do you resonate and align with your target audience by using those attributes? And that's key to getting your messaging right. And just remember that you don't need to just have one market positioning quadrant. You can actually have many different quadrants with many different alignment philosophies for each quadrant. And that's going to enable you to generate more specific leads for more specific people. And this is where brand comes in, because obviously at a higher level, how you present yourself and how you generate that visual resonance is super important. It's something that's going to transcend across all the different markets. So maybe you operate in pharma and tech, and maybe you operate in veterinary. It could be anything, right? And actually you could have a whole different set of quadrants. But that brand and what that brand philosophy is and what it stands for is super important. It needs to transcend the different markets that you're operating within. And I think that's an area where a lot of recruitment businesses can really improve. We see a lot of recruitment agencies who have a logo and a name and perhaps a primary colour or even a secondary colour, but they seldom have shape and form. They seldom bring together shape, form and colour with imagery or with illustration, and how those things can come together to create a real visual differentiation. And so I just wanted to touch on this a little bit, because it's the way in which we can generate a better feeling from our target audience, because you get to enable them to feel something without saying it. You can't just say we're really trustworthy. You have to be trustworthy in order for them to feel that you're trustworthy. And that can be through a number of different ways, and the brand is a really great way of doing it. Now, give a grad a go here. This client of ours, we worked with them on their logo and on their brand overall in terms of shape, form, colour, patternation, the way it all comes together, the lockups between the photography, the illustration, and how that's held and used within their marketing devices. But it's fun and it's bright and it's nostalgic and it's youthful. Now, give a grad a go, as you might expect, help hire graduates into clients' businesses. And so in order to be that recruiter where they're bringing together the right clients with the right candidates, they obviously need to attract the right candidates in order to successfully place them with the right clients. And so their brand is quite focused at the graduate. But the client also knows this. The client's not daft. They're going to be looking at this going, actually, they specifically target graduates. I can see why and how graduates are going to be on their roster, and is going to enable them to better deliver better graduates to us as a client. And so this bringing together of the market by recruiters is a really interesting facet of the recruitment agency world. And I think this is something that we dovetailed into with Give a Grad a Go really well. But it's something you can do across lots of different sectors. So, for example, this is another client of ours, Bond Global. They wanted to leave their print on the planet. They wanted to, again, bring together shape, form, colour, photography in just the right way. And we collaborated with them, not in terms of just delivering a logo and a website and core branding and messaging, but how all of that comes together alongside the digital strategy as well. And so for me, bringing together that shape, form, colour and interlock is a key element of brand that you can deliver against in order to create that feeling. And even for a recruitment business like Noah, which is a small SME recruiter, they're punching above their weight with an amazing way of bringing together their brand, which again, really simple but really well formed, with a key color scheme and with some layering techniques within their branding. So they get to use images to represent their clients and their candidates, while interlaying that in such a way that gives them visual distinction for their target audience. And it's super important because when you look at the different facets of how people feel something, it can make a massive impact. This statistic is from Adobe, where 38% of people who land on your website are going to leave because they don't like the look of it. So you've gone through all this bother of targeting and positioning and messaging and imagery and so on. If it doesn't look great and you've got about 1.5 seconds or something, if they land, they're going to leave just because it doesn't look good. And actually the same is true for other factors such as, challenges with the website, like images not loading, or if it wasn't very fast. There's lots of reasons why people might leave. And so quality of your digital footprint, in terms of its speed, in terms of the way that it's executed, can make people feel that you're established or good quality or capable or professional, or any number of other things that you're going to probably want to represent yourselves as. So when you're thinking about leveraging a brand, I just want you to consider thinking about that positioning and understanding those quadrants, and thinking about the attributes of those quadrants and how you're going to align with them. Because we want to create a feeling, and we want to create that feeling of resonance, and that resonance is created by aligning with those different attributes. Going back to that example that I was using at the beginning, we're trying to find the right candidate for the right client. So creating that feeling is super important, and having the brand and the messaging nailed down and understanding your audience gives you such a great jumping off point to make marketing happen. You're going to have that much better toolkit to get things out the door and be much more effective in generating your awareness within the marketplace and generating those new clients. That's the lifeblood of new business. So you've got all this great marketing stuff. How is people going to find it? How are you going to get it in front of them? Now, of course, in recruitment, there's a lot of outbound, there's a lot of drum banging, which is fantastic. But actually, the businesses that do really well are generating inbound client inquiries. And that starts by understanding how those target audience personas are going to find you, and how and why they're going to get in touch and convert into an inbound client lead. And that means you're probably going to need a good website strategy, because online, whether it's through LinkedIn, whether it's through any other social avenues, whether you're outbounding people, whether you've worked with people in the past and they've moved roles or jobs and they're advocating for you, even if you've got someone you've worked with before and they've moved to a different business, if they say to their boss, hey, we should use these guys for our recruitment because they're really good, the first thing that person's going to do is Google you and check you out. And so how do we get the right people to find the right pages at the right time and turn into new leads? So your website strategy is really divided out into two key parts. There's the SEO, or the search engine optimization, and there's that key word analysis and which keywords you're going to go for. And that's where we would love to go deep in terms of all those different attributes that we talked about in terms of your target audience positioning, and really create like a barrel lock process to come up with hundreds of different keywords for location, sector, subsector, position type, position size, job role, job title. There's a great number of things there that we'd love to get into those keywords to generate hundreds of keywords, and then really slice those up into target landing pages where we get to resonate with those target audiences when people land. And that's why the keyword alignment with the landing page alignment is so important. And from when they're there, from a conversion rate perspective, those key messages are really going to create that resonance and drive new leads. So website strategy is super important in terms of converting, and not just from an SEO perspective, but whether it's from LinkedIn, whether it's from your outbound, whether it's from offline referrals. The right people need the right places to send the right audiences to turn those into new leads. And it's an amazing attribute of the recruitment marketplace that only 11% of recruitment agencies are doing the basics of SEO. And that really is the very basics of SEO. And we've got a detailed report on the marketplace analysis of this as well. That's going to be available on our website. And what we find is that actually just by exercising the ability to deliver the basics of SEO, we can deliver huge outcomes. And so for us, what we do is once we've gone through those keywords and we've identified those marketplaces, we go wide on the keywords, end up with hundreds of keywords. And this chart is actually from an SEO management tool called moz.com. And each bar is a week, and the turquoise is the top 3 positions, and the green is the rest of page 1 of Google. And what you can see here is that from launch through to this was taken as a screenshot at just the end of November. What you can see here is this enormous growth in market penetration. And the way we do that is we help them identify keywords they can statistically have a probability of succeeding in getting onto page 1. And so that means making sure you're not going for keywords that you'll never succeed in because the competition is too high, but also not going for so many keywords that you're spreading resources too thinly. And also we want to target keywords with intent that target audience members are actually going to be Googling for or searching for, and that are actually going to turn into visitors who are going to turn into leads, into actual end clients at the end of the day. And so bringing all of this together creates that short list. And that's how we focus our customers' energies, efforts, and budgets, by using strategies that we have seen work elsewhere in similar scenarios to drive that growth and that performance outcome. And so SEO is a huge part of what we do, but it's also a huge part of what recruiters could do if only you do the basics well. And I think that's key for us today is the homework here from following up from this talk. So I'd love you to review your positioning. I'd love you to think about those quadrants, those attributes, and how you can demonstrate that you're a leader within a niche or a sector by looking at creating those quadrants of those marketplace dynamics and understanding your positioning within them. That enables you to create alignment with your customers, both in a written and a visual way. And by defining your target audience from a personas perspective and from a business perspective, you can create that resonance and that alignment in all of your marketing. And in doing so, that means you can then generate keywords, which means that you can target your SEO and get your website performing as well. So that's it. I've been Peter Richmond from Plug and Play. We obviously design and build websites. We do a great deal of work for recruiters, from job portals and mobile apps and the like. We've got lots of great tools that you can use from our website, so please download those. And from here, I hope your marketing improves. I look forward to speaking to you soon.